Today I want to talk about how it's been my experience anyway that dreams don't die. These personal dreams, these personal pursuits, creative pursuits, whatever type of pursuits that you have that you just really want to do, even if you're not doing them, even if you're not putting into like any effort into it, they just won't go away. They dog at you. They keep at you. And patiently, quite kindly, these dreams will just wait for you to be ready to receive them, to pay attention to them, and build them, grow them a bit more and more each time. I think maybe that's why my dream hasn't died yet. It's because I am still hanging on to it. I think if I were to give it up completely, just be like, oh, I simply don't have the time or energy, then actually that reminds me a lot of big magic. It'll just go back into the ether and patiently wait for another receptive energy to receive it and to gestate it. I just uploaded my second YouTube video, and as I was rewatching it, I noticed that I had mentioned in both of these videos how I started thinking about these dreams, about pursuing this creative goal, this very specific goal with this huge story that I have in my head. And I started pursuing it when I was 14, and I'm 44 now. So it's been 30 years that this one story has been just patiently waiting. That's when I realized that dreams don't die. They won't. We're gonna die though. They're gonna outlast us. We'll either go back to the ether while we're still alive, or after we've, detached from this mortal form. Maybe we'll find it there again. When I was younger, I was really quite shy. I had low self-esteem, and I think that is really kind of one of the things that kept me in this little safe space of not like really interacting with my world. I know that having these daydreams in my head, which ended up creating the groundwork for this story, that came from some sort of escapism, like those things that you learn to cope, coping mechanism. It was a coping mechanism, certainly. It turned into, I think that happens a lot actually with people in creative fields. I always wanted to create a timeless character. When I was a kid, I watched Indiana Jones, and I got really inspired by that actually. Batman, Superman, all these characters who were created by people, and then they have lived on and developed into their own entities. I don't know why I wanted to create a timeless character. I thought it would be like evidence of a goal achieved, I suppose. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't really think about that before. I used to think that societal norms dictated or discouraged me from pursuing like a creative career. But I realize now the importance of entertainment in society. Because if we don't have that, something to help us relax, not that that's the only way, obviously there's a lot of things that each individual can do to relax, to receive goodness from life, but entertainment, it isn't a needless thing. I didn't go to university for illustration or for film studies because I thought that was like a non-essential career choice, and I felt or assumed that what I should be doing is picking something that is more important. I thought it was unimportant to pursue these things, and it's not. It's incredibly important, and not just to society. It's more important for myself to do this. I remember when I was in my late 30s, I met this woman, and she was talking about how I was actually talking to her about this dream of mine, about like bringing it back, about trying to actively pursue it, even though I didn't have the techniques down that I needed to give it the full effort that it required. And she got really excited. She went to university for illustration when she was in her 50s. and was encouraging me to do it now because you're gonna want to, no matter what. It's not gonna die. You know, you hear about these celebrities and entrepreneurs who late in life start in their careers and their endeavors, and they end up being quite successful. You see this on like social media, and they're meant to inspire you to hang on to these dreams and to pursue them. And the true fact of the matter is, you know, no matter what story, what song, or what piece of art has been created before, people need, not everybody, but people need to hear your story, your version of the art, your style, you know, the way that you play, how you interpret life through your music. Or I'm just talking on the creative realm, but really with anything, any dream that you have that you've wanted to do, that you're just like kind of putting aside for whatever reason. It really doesn't have to be like that, and because it is going to dog at you. These dreams, they don't die. They won't die unless you let them, unless you make them, unless you kill them. But who would want to do that? Because they don't die, it is our individual responsibility to ourselves to pursue them, you know? I know that there's a lot of people that really don't have like the amount of time that I have to be able to do that, which is unfortunate. But like, then you also see like on YouTube all these people who have children and full-time jobs and demanding jobs, and then they carve out time for themselves, and they're doing this for themselves. And I'm starting to feel that too. Like, I'm considering it, you know, yeah, I have to go to work, I have to go to my job. I actually consider that to be my job. But doing work, it's like the stuff that I am doing for myself. I have all these pursuits now, and I'm utilizing this time a lot better. And I think it's just only going to get better and better and better because, yeah, before, boy, was it ever difficult. It's so interesting though, because we do develop habits. We are able to develop habits. And once these habits get into place, then it's just going to roll. It's just going to be a boulder. We're going to gather no moss, just a bigger boulder. I know that's a weird analogy. That doesn't really make sense, but it's just the momentum, you know, those graphs or whatever that, you know, you put on all this steady work and then up it goes. And I'm just so thrilled by that. And that has been a really long line for me. It's been 30 years of kind of like really not doing anything, and so it's just been a flat line. I feel like moving here, just this whole thing, the transition, the place that we're living now, it's awesome. There's so much light. We get up early, and we're both like just doing all these little things, and they're all gonna add up, and it's gonna be great. And it's gonna be so much fun too. It's gonna be so much fun to draw and to just like curate these stories and create these little stories. Like each issue is going to be its own story. Each book, it's going to have its own like first, second, and third act. It's going to be so much fun. I'm not going to tackle the whole thing at once, because like I'm quite aware that if I were to do it that way, that, you know, the first page is just going to look really crappy compared to the last one. I also saw this thing recently on YouTube. I should really credit the guy. He does a lot of like he's making his own comic book, and he was talking about how like a really great exercise or a great way to get into it, to get into your big story idea, is to first start by making like 5-page comics, and then once you get really good at those, that you know what you're doing, then you do 15 to 20-page comics, and then once you get really good at that, then you tackle your big story. And the reason for that is because then you have like 20 chances to make your mistakes and make your corrections, rather than making them all in this one, you know, your magnum opus. That's not how that works. It's not going to be like that. You know, I hear about on people's deathbeds, they have their regrets, and it's often what they don't do. It's not what they've done. Because of course, you know, throughout our life, we're going to have regrets for mistakes that we've made, how we've hurt people, often unintentionally. I would assume, because we're just like protecting ourselves from, our mind is protecting ourselves, and we can only focus on our own pain, so we can't think about the pain that we're causing others at that time. People will regret that, certainly, but the biggest regrets that people have are the things that they haven't done, and now they're out of time. Now that's it. And that is really something that should be like super, super inspiring. Kind of strangely, it's quite negative. It's like a cautionary tale, I suppose. Yeah, it is. But it's true, I'm hopefully not near the end of my life, assuming that I die a natural death. I've got a couple decades left. That should give me plenty of time to at least complete this. And I know that it's just going to be fun along the way now. Before it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to try to figure out how to get it done. I just didn't know. I just had no idea. I didn't even know how to research it, which is silly, but now I have all the tools available to me, and even more tools now with this whole AI thing. I refuse to let AI write my book. That's not happening. I'm writing it. I'm illustrating it. I don't care because this is for me. So our dreams don't die, but we do. And if we just let them wait, we put them on the back burner, let them sit there and simmer, we're going to run out of time. And that will end up being our biggest regret.